to a beautiful day 37. I've arrived a little bit late to site today, so 7:45. Got a little bit later, did the gym, all the usual sort of stuff you do. When I got here, the guys are already here, so site manager Anthony's already here, rebar guys, and Jeff the manager's already here. Roller already rolling, which is great, that needs to be rolling all bloody day. Excavator man's here as well. So yeah, could be a good day. Certainly starting off right, that's for sure. We put the rocks back for the neighbour because she had a bit of a moan. That does now mean that we're going to have a congestion issue today. So my little hire car, because mine's poorly. Rebar manager, rebar supervisor, site supervisor, not too sure. That's where we've even started. So we've got about another 3 or 4 vehicles turning up as well, plus delivery. So she really hasn't actually thought this through, but however, we're going to try and keep her reasonably happy. The guys were just trying to do felt was right for the congestion, not only of the day job and the site and vehicles delivering and taking away and whatever else, but also anybody that insanely wants to drive down here and get to the beach whilst we are actually trying to work. It's amazing. They literally drive down the road, they see everything busy and trucks everywhere, and they still try and park in between everything and walk to the beach. It's like, there's 3, 4, 5 roads that lead to the beach, and you pick the one that's going to have all the construction going on, it's going to have all the agros. Absolutely beautiful. But anyway, that's people for you. They don't sometimes think. Anyway, so yesterday, quick update, they moved those pallets of blocks to the right, so it's actually now over the boundary line. They put these wires, you probably can't see on the video, but there's a string there going to that cross of metal. That technically is our boundary line, but that's where they're also going to land up putting the brick wall. They've moved the container, so it's now on the boundary line facing this way. And now what they're doing is they're erecting down there fencing that will end up keeping this part of the complex in, and then they're going to build the block wall, which is going to be the house block wall all the way down to the container. They're then going to move the container to the far left hand corner over there, and they're going to build a block wall obviously all the way along over to that block wall, and at some stage as well, just over there where that yellow wall finishes, they're going to take that block wall all the way down to the end. So they're going to build, I suppose they're protecting the site. They're trying to make sure that no one can fall in and damage themselves, no one can steal anything, etc. So on this wall here and this wall here, they'll also erect high curtain walling as well, just to try and make sure we keep the dust from the neighbours. There's another car coming down. Hopefully this is a worker, because again, why would you want to come down here whilst we're working? But yeah, and this is pretty much it. So we need him rolling all day today. I'm going to get in there and have a look in that pit, make sure that there's no movement in that mile. So this is what they do all day, like come down. Oh yeah, no, it's the workers. They're alright. They're allowed. Morning. Boy racer. So yeah, obviously Anthony is over there at the moment marking out with the excavator. That means they're going to start digging out the actual footings for the wall, I'll assume. So I'll find out in a minute. But that wall's going to go all the way down there, so they're obviously going to start the wheels in motion on that. Yeah, everything's going okay at this present time. If anything, just trying to slow them down a little bit to make sure they do things more methodical. But 10 times more people, 10 times more proactivity, exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, one issue we're having at the moment is finding out where the actual the plot line actually is. So if I show you what we have, this is what we physically have as our land marker. But obviously they're not going to go putting our land marker on a telegraph pole, or vice versa, putting a telegraph pole where the land marker is. So we're trying to establish so we can do the brick wall. So if you literally look straight through here, you can see that there is, on the corner of that wall, there is a little white stick near that man, right on the corner, which is where next door moves his butt. Yeah, so that, if you look at that right through here, it's coming out at round about here, which obviously is a little bit further away, probably a foot and a half away from the actual line itself. So we've got to try and establish a line, otherwise we'll build the wall on the wrong line. So looking down the line itself, around the man's butt, around here. So we're digging just a test the depth of what the footings will have to be. Basically, we've got to take block all the way down to rock, and if obviously it's too deep, then that's expensive. So it's then beams and pillars. So obviously there's the line, there's the first pit. We're hitting rock quite quickly, which is good. Now hopefully we'll get that all the way through, and then we've got to do now is take this all the way down. It just won't move, will he? It's like a static. Hey! Hello! Move your butt. Jesus. Right, so you're going straight through there, look. So looking at the wall. Going straight up. But technically, just to the right of that water. So anyway. Another little minor detail. You get it wrong, you build on the wrong side of the line, which means they can come along and ask you to take it down, which is the last thing we want to do, obviously. So we've got to make sure we get it right. And we can only go by the lines that they've laid, but their lines that they've laid aren't right. So it's a bit strange. All we can do is conservatively come to the right-hand side. It's about the best we can do, I think. So one of the first wall foundations being dug. We've hit rock very quickly, and then obviously missed rock, big deep hole. Now we're finding rock again, and we've got to go all the way over to where he is in the high vis over the far corner. So it's still difficult trying to get the actual line as to where we need to be, but it is looking like we're actually, the telegraph pole is smack bang on our boundary line, which means we're going to have to get them to move the pole. So, but anyway, not so bad on the footing so far, apart from one little deep disaster, but other than that it looks alright so far. Hopefully they can carry on at that level. If they can do that, that means we're not going down too far with the wall. We have to go down to the wall, down to the rock to stop the water coming in from the other side. Hopefully that rock will carry on right to the other end. Okay, so it's 20 to 12. So we can catch up. And the guys have been quickly prepping next door very quickly, so I can show you here. So obviously just, this is next door's land, obviously. Ours is parallel with the post. Obviously this is in the way. So the brick wall was going to land up going through here, so nice to see a lot of bit of rock, which means we can basically cement and block all the way down to the footings. I was actually in there doing some work a minute ago, and the guy whacked the container, which crushed the blocks. So anyway, that looks good. So we can actually get that finished off. Have a look what the rest of the guys have done on the site. Sorry about the wind. So we have sand delivered. So over the weekend, the blockwork guys are going to be coming in and finishing off. They're going to put a block wall all the way down here to the very end. Hopefully the guys over there would have finished the fencing at the end. It seems to be going on forever, that. Shouldn't have done ages ago. Make sure these guys are calming down on the miles. I know what they're like. As soon as our backs turn, they fill with things. So a quick look how we're getting on here. Roller's still rolling. But yes, put a bit more in there, that's for sure. So this sludge sort of we took out yesterday because it was so wet. and that's still really wet in there as well. So again, we're hoping the sun's going to dry stuff out. I mean, the sun is very, very apparent and warm today, so hopefully things will dry out a lot more. We are getting a bit of wind and rain in the evenings, so we come in and it's obviously wet again, so that's not doing us any favours. But anyway, obviously they're going to carry on loading more mud away, which I don't want. We need that mud. We need to talk to them about that. So as you can see, we're still getting quite a bit of movement on there. You see it's like a little mattress. As it rolls over it, it sort of comes back up again. It's the downside with it, unfortunately. That needs to be rock solid. Definitely is not. Not good. Not good at all. See how deep it goes. The trouble is the mould that's delivered is actually a different colour as well, because that's wet. You see how the different colour that from that to the new stuff that's been delivered today, it's being delivered soaking wet as well. So it's like it needs to be wet to roll it, but obviously underneath there is soaking wet, and it's obviously the roller is forcing the moisture and all the garbage from underneath up. So ideal. Maybe it's me doing the filming. Maybe I jinx it. And I've got a leak coming out of the actual pipes. Unfortunately, she's overheated and new pipe needed. Oh well. Need to be done. So anyway, put a bit of a stop on this afternoon. So I ran out of diesel this morning. Got it going for about 11:15. It's now 12 o'clock and now it's broken down. Rollers in this country just do not last. Anyway, smile and wave. The good news though is that this isn't too bad. It obviously drops off a cliff right over there, which is a real pain in the arse. So I've got no choice but to potentially go right down in there. But other than that, most of it is pretty much shallow like this. Yeah, that's the other thing as well you see a lot around here. See the gun cartridges. This used to be a hunting swamp, basically. Birds hunting. So everywhere, every now and then, you just find 12 gauge cartridges everywhere. So that's why he took me down earlier on. He knocked me off my blocks. Silly git. So we're going to need to prop that up at some point and get that back up again, because I'm now leaning backwards. But anyway, that's where we are so far this afternoon. Roller repaired in speedy time. Speedy time. Shed loads more happening. Rebar boys, sorry about the wind. Cracking on doing the whole footings, that's what they're doing. Boundary walls being dug out because they're going to be bricked up on this weekend, so that will go all the way down the side of the property. See the orange lines down there, just about. Stone and sand for the concrete for the block work delivered for the weekend. A flood from somewhere. Block wall for the rear of the property pretty much has been dug out and now been moulded, waiting to go straight down on top. So that technically is where the block work's going to go down onto, but we do have an issue with electric and posts in the way, so that will be to there anyway. Mud's been moved, waiting for the container. The container can go over there as well once that's been done. Roller's fixed, so he's rolling again. Again, still loads of movement, so still plenty of drying to go on in there, so hopefully that will carry on. We'll roll and roll and roll. A little bit more sun, should be okay there. fencing at the back is taking shape. Should be finished by tomorrow, I would have thought. And then the weekend's all about block work and walls, and then us then getting the actual footings and everything else mapped out here for concrete. Hopefully a good start next week. So to get that set out by the week and get poured will be absolutely amazing, but we'll see how long that's going to take. So shed lights going on, boss man's on site, that's probably why. Yeah, so far good. So we're at 3:45, still another hour or two to go. So I'll check in with you a little bit later on, but loads more happening today, thank God. Just gone R4. Loads of progress taking place again. Front wall footings being dug out. Driveway being levelled off a little bit more. Roller still rolling around the back, as far as I'm aware. Can't really see him behind there. Guys are actually mixing up the water on that lot and the concrete for the posts that have been set in. I can't know where the roller is. Oh, he is rolling backwards, yeah, he's over the back, so that's fine. Filling up of the actual pit. Ready for block work. Lorry off the dumping. Digging out, nearly there. So it's 5 o'clock. Most people have left. It's these boys left at the moment, so we'll probably be done by the evening in a minute. So I'll check in if we do. Okay, close the play for a day. That is us over, shutting up, locking up. Site pretty much tidied away. The road looks like a bomb's gone through it. We'll have to sort that tomorrow. Site itself, machines all tucked away, and the big bad boss. Bit of sweaty for once.